Welcome back to another NFL Weekly Preview. This time for NFL Week number 14, everybody. We are getting down the stretch, and we are going to be looking back at Thursday night football game to start with. And we got 4 matchups to look ahead to that are going to be huge playoff implication games on Sunday. We also got a few news and notes from around the league to get caught up on. But before we get into all of it, if this is your first time here, please do us a favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for our mascot, Freckles, a.k.a. Frexy. Look at that face. She is just the cutest. She's walking around right now. She just had a bone outside, everybody. She's so happy about that.
She's just cold right now.
All right, Nika. Well, the pigskin game of football is alive and well. Thanksgiving numbers are out from NFL media on Twitter, and the highest Thanksgiving Day average audience ever. The most watched regular season game in history also went down on Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Yes. Football is alive and well out there, folks. The Chiefs-Cowboys game was the most watched NFL regular season game on record. The Thanksgiving Day average audience was 44.7 million people. That was, of course, pulled down by the evening game, which only had 28.4 million average viewers. But Green Bay and Detroit, 47.7 million average, and Kansas City at Dallas, 57.2 million average. Wow.
So it wasn't the evening game that was the most popular one.
Yeah, and these percentages versus 2024, plus 27% for the Green Bay-Detroit game, plus 47% for the Kansas City-Dallas game, and plus 7% for the Bengals and the Ravens game. I think some of this boost has to do with the fact that, you know, these are consequential games. The Green Bay-Detroit game was, at the time, a battle for first place.
Yes.
Detroit has since already played again last night. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But because they played the Bears last year on Thanksgiving and it was an inconsequential game of sorts because the Bears were terrible, that's why you see a 27% increase perhaps in that game. I'd have to go and double check who Dallas played last year. And
I don't think it matters at this point.
But the fact that they were playing Kansas City, a popular quarterback in Mahomes on Thanksgiving in the afternoon, like sort of primetime viewing slot. But to see still a 47% increase, that's awesome.
It is.
So kudos to the NFL. You are more popular than ever, apparently. Also, had to find this little nugget and bring it up to our attention. This comes from Yahoo Sports, but I'm sure it's out there everywhere at this point. NFL Red Zone ran 16 advertisements during Week 13's Sunday slate of games, totaling nearly 5 minutes in sponsored segments during the broadcast.
Oh. It went up.
This comes per Sports Business Journal's Josh Carpenter. Red Zone initially aired only 4 15-second ads during Week 1 of the NFL season and has gradually increased this throughout the year.
I'm shocked.
Are you
shocked.
Really? You
Yes.
are really. Because I could be. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn that you and I said that this is exactly what would happen.
Oh, definitely. At the beginning of the damn season.
So you're just sarcastically shocked.
Yes, I'm sarcastically shocked. This is the beginning of keep adding the ad minutes.
Welcome to NFL Red Zone 2028. We have 2 hours of commercials, and then the rest of it is commercial free. Oh, my gosh.
It's going to be more commercials than football next time.
At some point, you wonder if it's going to get to that point, don't you? Oh, well, no surprise here. We did call this. We did say this would happen.
How many of the mainstream media was saying, no, this isn't going to happen. This is just a little bit.
They just said it wasn't a big deal, you know, but to go from 1 to 5 minutes in
one season.
Not even a full season. That's a 500% increase. 1 times 5. 1 minute, 5 minutes. Get that? That's what's called math, folks. Easy, simple math. I didn't have to write a paragraph to figure it out either.
Good one.
I'm looking at you, math teachers. What are you doing to these kids? Good Lord. Well, let's take a look at the Week 14 schedule, Nika. I picked out some games here. Cowboys, Lions, Bears, Packers, which we'll get to. Steelers, Ravens, Colts, Jaguars, and Texans, Chiefs. Oh, and Monday Night Football has an Eagles-Chargers game as well. Now, the Cowboys and Lions already played last night. The Lions, everybody, prevail 44-30 and effectively end the Cowboys season. Jared Goff with that emphatic fist pump there on the NFL Twitter account's final score. Look at that. And the cartoon, the Amazon cartoons are great. And here they are. This looks like some kind of photoshopped image, actually, now that I look at it. But it says Lions win, and they're driving the car outside of Ford Field down the street in Detroit. They don't look dressed for the weather, by the way.
Was probably taken during the summer. Who knows?
Photoshop job. Photoshop is a miracle worker, especially these days.
Or AI.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Well, with this loss, Dallas's playoff chances drop. They were not great to begin with at 17%, but they were alive, and they now fall to 7% after this, Nika. Not good.
No.
So Cowboys fans are probably crying a little bit this morning on the inside. They're not dead, but they're not really alive.
The chances are just diminishing.
I feel like this is what you call a coma in the medical world. The Lions, meanwhile, they go up from 43% to 54%. So they got to be a little bit happier in Detroit knowing that they've flipped onto the other side of 50.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to digress as a franchise right now just because they lost Ben Johnson. Sorry, not sorry. But Cowboys fans are got to be disappointed. They're not mathematically eliminated, but, you know, they have to play the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. And when you look at the standings right now in the NFC, the Cowboys are now 2 games behind the Eagles. That's because they have that tie. If they could have held on to win against Green Bay, they would be 7-6, and they would be a little bit better shape. But they've now fallen 2 games behind Philadelphia in the loss column, and Philadelphia has 5 games remaining. Cowboys have 4 games remaining. If the Cowboys can somehow run the table, I still wouldn't count them out. Philadelphia, we don't really know what's happening with them. They didn't look like an intimidating Super Bowl defending champion last week when the Bears kind of beat them up on their home field. So I wouldn't count the Cowboys out as dead as 7%. I don't know. That's just me. I don't necessarily like the Eagles in their Monday night matchup, but more on that in a second.
Okay.
The Lions, meanwhile, they looked better to me, but I wanted to point out that they also look very sloppy at times.
They do.
Me. I'm seeing a lot of false start penalties, illegal formations, illegal motions, et cetera, et cetera. You get it. And I feel like that's something that, as we've seen the Bears go on this season, that they've cleaned up under Ben Johnson, and it just feels uncharacteristic of Lions teams of the past. So not good.
They have time to clean this up if they get it.
They do, but they have a weird schedule too. The Lions have to play at LA next.
Ouch.
That's their next game. And so even though they are now 8-5, that's going to be a tough game on the road. The Steelers and Lions, then they play the Steelers at home, the Vikings on the road, and they close at Soldier Field. So 3 out of their final 4 games are on the road. And 3 of them, the Rams, Steelers, and Bears, are in the playoff hunt right now. So
a little tough schedule.
Do with that what you will with that information, everybody. Tough schedule for the Lions.
Yeah.
No easy road to the playoffs this year.
Well, that's what happens if you have a good team.
Even though they have a 54% chance today, they are still on the outside looking in, if you look at it. Still in the bubble. Still the 8th seed right now. Let's look at the rest of the in the hunt teams, though, in the AFC and the NFC. We got a big graphic here. And the Patriots and the Bears leading the way. Is it 1985 out there, Nika?
Seems that way.
These are the 2 Super Bowl teams from 1985. And here we are in week 14 of the 2025 season. 40 years later, history.
It loves to repeat itself.
It does, doesn't it? Well, the Bears will be facing off against their vaunted rivals, the Green Bay Packers, at Lambeau Field this Sunday. And we just recorded our entire Chicago Bears pregame show. So we're not going to really talk about that matchup too much right now, but go and check that recording out because it will be posted around the same time as this show will be posted. But I, needless to say, am very, very excited and nervously awaiting this matchup. But I want to turn our attentions to start with in the AFC North, everybody, where it is the Ravens and the Steelers, who are facing off in a big game Sunday morning. This is your early Sunday kickoff game. Both teams tied atop the AFC North standings right now at 6-6. Doesn't get much crazier than this when you're heading this far down the stretch. Both of these teams look pretty evenly matched when you look at them. Baltimore has a decidedly rushing yards edge, but when you look at points per game, 23.4 for Pittsburgh, 24.1 for the Ravens. Not even a point separates them.
Yeah, they are neck and neck.
Meanwhile, in opponents' points per game, so in as far as how many points you're giving up per game, the Steelers at 24.1, Baltimore at 24.4. So even lesser of a point separates them there. These are like these battle of wills that just keep showing up week after week right now. And the winner of this game will hold the edge with just 4 games then remaining after this one.
Who do you like for this game?
Well, I want to point out right now that LamarJackson is questionable.
Oh.
He did not practice Thursday with an ankle injury. He also didn't practice Wednesday.
Well, Steelers
That's
have also
a little
issues.
bit concerning. He has had a hamstring injury, a knee injury, a toe injury, and now an ankle injury just this year, LamarJackson. And it's his 4th injury this year.
He needs a ripper doc.
He does, doesn't he?
He needs to replace his legs.
Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers is a full participant in practice after he left the field with that bloody nose last week and falling on that injured wrist. He wants to play. This is a huge game implications. He came back to win.
Yeah.
So I expect Aaron Rodgers to play. I'm a little bit concerned about LamarJackson, though I wouldn't be surprised if he does play because of the ramifications of this game. Having said that, Vegas loves the Ravens in this matchup by 5.5 points.
That really?
Yeah.
Okay.
By more than a field goal, almost 2. Not a touchdown, but almost 2 field goals.
Even LamarJackson's not playing.
I think that you could see the money line change on this game if he's ruled out. And a lot might depend on that injury report, and we're not going to see that for a couple hours yet today. The over-under on this game is 42.5. It's pretty low, so they expect a low-scoring game. Do you see a Steelers upset brewing here, or is this LamarJackson's breakout game for 2025 at least, where he kind of reminds everybody that, oh, yeah, I'm the NFL MVP, and I'm not hurt as much as everyone thinks I am?
I guess it all depends if he plays. Because I do believe Ravens have the upper leg on that.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are a better team when Lamar is healthy. I just don't know if he truly is right now or not.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give the edge to the Steelers in this one, no shit. I feel like Rodgers is going to play, and
he's got something to prove.
Going to show up and win this game for the Steelers. The poly markets are also getting involved here, and they love the Ravens. Almost 69% to 31% of the money is favoring the Ravens right now. The 5.5 point spread is also slight edge to the Ravens, 52 cents to 49 cents. And the over-under, 42.5, also about 50-50 in this one. So nobody's really running away with it.
No.
Except for the money on the Ravens, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, well, let's turn our attention to the AFC South, where we have another extremely exciting matchup. It is the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars and the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts. They are getting down in Jacksonville, everybody. And when you look at the numbers here, they would appear to favor the Colts. The Colts dominate in points per game, yards per game, passing and rushing, and they also give up less points per game, though not that much. But I want to caution here. Indy has been fizzling out. They started 6-1 in this season, and since then they have gone 2-3. They now find themselves at 8-4, tied with Jacksonville, who's kind of come from beneath them, obviously, to get into this position.
And they are playing in Florida, too.
This game is at home. It's a huge opportunity for Jacksonville to kind of be back.
Yeah.
You know, they are similar to the Bears in a way, where they haven't been good for a long time, and now all of a sudden find themselves in the thick of it. Moneyline likes the Colts in this one, but it is expected to be close, and that's why I think I'm going to give the edge to Jacksonville in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, too.
Sauce Gardner is going to be missing for the Colts most likely in this one, and that's a big loss for them on their defense. I'm also wanted to point out that I'm sad that Travis Hunter, the number 2 overall draft pick, is out for the season for Jacksonville with an LCL tear. You might remember him as being the two-way player, the famous Ohtani of football. I'm just kind of sad that he's not around for this run, even though he does have an LCL tear. That's the good one. It's not your ACL or your MCL. It's your LCL. It's different. It's still a major surgery, and he's still recovering, but his long-term knee health should be okay. Anyways, I was talking about how the money line and the odds are favoring the Colts in this one, but only by 1.5 points, Nika.
That's not much.
Not much at all.
So it's a toss-up, really.
This is what I would call a toss-up in the NFL when you have a point spread this low. And the fact that it's going against the home team is almost surprising to me. And it's going in favor of the team that has been struggling of late.
Well, it's coming from probably historical data.
Probably. Anyways, I said it already. I let the cat out of the bag. I like Jacksonville to win this game. What about you?
Me too.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens on Sunday. And that is both of those AFC divisional battles are happening in the morning edition. Then we have Bears-Packers in the Sunday afternoon edition. And then finally, Sunday night, we actually have another game of consequence, which is the Houston Texans visiting the Kansas City Chiefs in an AFC wildcard battle. And we looked at the AFC teams that were in the playoffs already, and both the Texans and the Chiefs were not in that list. And that's because they are in the bubble, everybody. The Texans are currently the 8th seed, while the Steelers are the 9th seed, and the Chiefs are the 10th seed. Now, the Steelers can put themselves right into the playoff race with a win over the Ravens. But for the Chiefs and Texans, it's not so simple. They are both in 3rd place in their respective divisions, the AFC South and West. And the Chiefs, I want to point this out, are in danger of falling below 500 if they lose this game. They would be 6-7 on the season. When's the last time they had those kinds of problems in Kansas City?
It's been a minute.
When you look at Kansas City's numbers, they look pretty solid offensively still, and honestly, they look pretty solid defensively. They just haven't been having the same, I guess, football luck maybe that they've been having. But Mahomes, he still has over 3,200 yards passing already this season with 5 games left to play. He's easily going to go over 4,000 yards.
Well, Mahomes is not the problem. It's the rest of the team. No, it's not.
But when you look at Houston on the other hand, I want to talk about C.J. Stroud for a second. While the Texans are 7-5 and the Chiefs are 6-6, I feel like C.J. Stroud, people are going to start taking a closer and closer look at him. He got anointed for leading the Texans into the playoffs in his rookie season, and I feel like ever since then he's sort of fallen off a bit. And it just makes me wonder, like, how certain is his future going to be, and how good is he really, and did he peak a little bit too soon? We want this instant gratification so much right now as a culture that we stop to think maybe that having this level of success too early sometimes is a bad thing. I remember him famously hugging Caleb Williams after their week 2 game last year. It was only week 2 of Caleb Williams' career, and he's hugging him in his 2nd year like, it's okay, little bro. It's going to be okay. And I don't think he had all the tools in his kit yet to be backing that kind of body language up, if you will. He anointed himself maybe a little too early as what, this NFL mentor or something?
And it's very hard to repeat that kind of a success, specifically in football.
It really is, and with the same team, So now you look at his numbers here on the season. He's had some injuries this year. His last game, he played against the Colts. It was his first game back since leaving a game on November 2nd. So he missed almost an entire month here. He also missed a week between October 5th and October 20th, though something tells me that was the bye week for the Texans. But missing almost a month is a lot. So his numbers are a little bit impacted by that. He has a quarterback rating this year of 91.1, which is pretty decent. 1,978 yards, 11 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions in 9 games. He's turning the ball over a lot. That's more than Caleb Williams has in 12 games, by contrast, So he's thrown more picks in 3 less games. That's quite a bit. The other numbers look pretty solid. There's a few things that stand out. Like when they played at Seattle, he was 23 of 49. That's a 46.9 completion percentage, only 4.7 yards a pass, and then a 25 out of 38 game against Tennessee. The completion percentage was really high, but only 204 yards and a 5.4 average with 2 interceptions. So just some oddball games in the stat lines this year from him. This is going to be an interesting game. I think the Chiefs win.
Me too.
They're not dead yet. And not saying that they're going to make the playoffs for sure, but I think they live to fight another day. Houston, on the other hand, that'll be interesting because they will then move into a tie with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs will hold the tie because they will have won the head-to-head matchup. So I think it will be tough for Houston to overcome a loss and make the playoffs if that happens. They won't be dead, and they won't be as dead as Dallas, but your playoff football hopes in the state of Texas will be dropping very, very fast. The market odds also favor the Chiefs in this one, Nika.
Yeah.
3.5 point favorites at home, so more than a field goal. They still pretty close depending on who you ask. The over-under, though, low-scoring game, 41.5. That's the lowest I think we've seen. That surprises me because the offense doesn't seem to be the problem when you look at these team stats, especially for the Chiefs. They're not a slouch by any means. They are still near the top of the league in yards per game. And the Bears are too. They score a lot more points than the Bears.
Other teams are getting better.
Other teams are getting better. Absolutely. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one, but the money line, 63% to 37% on Poly Market for the Chiefs right now on that.
I can disagree.
3.5 points, But just to outright win, the Chiefs are favored. And, but Houston is slightly favored to cover in at least the betting market.
Okay.
The over at 42.5 is favored to go under. And I found that surprising. But Texas has a really good defense. They give up 16 points a game. That's really low.
That's low, yeah.
One of the best. So we will wait and see. All right. Well, we only have one other game of consequence to talk about. And if you've been keeping track, that would be on Monday night. And we're not going to get too much into this one now because we have to wait and see, I think, what happens with the rest of the league and how that shakes out on Sunday before we really know how big of a game this is going to be on Monday. But one thing I can tell you for sure, Nika, the Eagles can lose and remain okay, but with a Cowboys loss, this game does get a little bit more interesting if the Eagles win because it will pretty much push the Cowboys completely out.
Okay.
Anyways, we might revisit this game on Monday morning, but for now, just know that this game is happening and Justin Herbert is going to play. He has a similar injury to Aaron Rodgers, as far as I know, but he is going to play. Both of those teams are, of course, in the hunt right now. If you look at our earlier graphic, the Chargers are the 5th seed currently in the AFC, while the Eagles are the number 3 seed because of the fact that they lead that division. Really, the only way the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs is if they somehow take it from the Eagles and win the NFC East. And that would mean the Eagles don't make the playoffs either. So stay tuned, everybody. Let us know who you got in all of these playoff implication matchups. But other than that, I think that's going to wrap it up for our NFL Week 14 preview show right here on the Kanika Sports Channel. Thanks for the subscriptions. Thanks for tuning in. And we will be tuning in to a lot of football this weekend, Nika.
Lots of football. Lots of exciting games.